Hello everyone, welcome to Quick and Easy Cooking. Now today I'm going to make one of my favorite Italian dishes. It's penne pasta with meat sauce. Now the ingredients that you will need for this is some type of hamburger. I am using ground sirloin for this. I am also going to use garlic, mozzarella, penne by Barilla. I'm going to use 2 jars of Bertoli Marinara sauce, Parmesan cheese, Italian seasoning, parsley flakes, crushed red pepper, thyme, basil, and black pepper, salt, and an onion. This is going to make a wonderful, wonderful Italian dish, and it's very, very good. This can be eaten as a meal. It could be a side dish to something else that you're having, but this is a very, very wonderful recipe to make. Now what I'm doing is I've got our onion in our fry pan. I have 1 tablespoon of butter in here, and I let it melt down, and then I just put the onion on in. So I'm just sauteing our onion. Now what I've done is I put some water in a pan, and I also put some sea salt on in for our pasta noodles. Now when your water comes to a boil, what you're going to do is you're going to cook your noodles as directed on the back of the box. Now you also want to remember that you may want to cook this 2 minutes less, because you're going to put these noodles into the oven to bake. So it says for al dente 11 to 12 minutes. So you may want to cook it a little bit less than 11 to 12 minutes, because you're going to put these into the oven. To show you how good our onions are. See how that's the way you want them. Just like that. That is absolutely perfect. Now what I've got is I've got our meat on in our fry pan. I'm just going to put some salt and pepper on that. Now what I use is 1/8 teaspoon of salt and also pepper. 1/8 for both. Now for our spices, I'm using 1 teaspoon of Italian seasoning. Let me show you. Italian seasoning, 1 teaspoon. And I'm going to put all of our spices in this one dish right here so that way you can see it. I'm using 1 teaspoon of parsley flakes. Parsley flakes, 1 teaspoon. Now I'm going to use 1/4 teaspoon of basil, dried basil. Now if you want to use the fresh basil, you can, but I'm using dry because that's what I have in my pantry. 1/4 teaspoon of dried basil. Now I'm going to use 1/4 teaspoon of thyme, and I'm using dry thyme. See that? 1/4 teaspoon. Using 1/8 teaspoon of crushed red pepper. Now if you want to add more, you can. You can adjust this more to your liking, but I don't want the pasta hot. I don't want the sauce hot. So I'm only going to use 1/8 teaspoon. Now the meat has been drained. See that? Now what I'm using is I'm going to use 1 teaspoon of garlic, and I'm going to put that into our meat right there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put back in my onions. See that? I got all my onions now. I'm going to add that back to my dish, my hamburger. And I'm just going to stir that up. Now I did a little taste test of this, and what I did was I added an additional 1/8 teaspoon of black pepper and also salt. So do your little taste test and see if that's enough salt and black pepper for you. What I have done is I drained my noodles, and I'm just letting them, the excess water drain off. I did not rinse them, so you do not want to rinse them. What I'm doing is I'm putting our sauce into the pan right here, and I just put a little bit of water into the 1 jar, and that way I can get the excess pasta sauce out. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add our spices to our sauce right here, and I'm going to cook this up onto the stove, so that way all the spices and the sauce can marinate. Now what I have here is our 2 jars of sauce. the Bertoli Marinara sauce, and I used all of our spices that I put together. And so I'm going to put this on a stove and let it cook for 5 minutes, so that way it can all blend very, very well. Now what I'm doing is I'm just putting a little bit of sauce into the 13 by 9 pan, and so that way the noodles do not stick. Okay, so I just did a little bit of sauce on the bottom. Now what I've done is I've tasted the sauce, and the sauce is absolutely wonderful with all the spices that I put into it. Now I'm going to take our meat that we made and I'm going to pour it on in. Now what I'm doing is I'm just stirring this around. Look how good that looks. And I did taste a little bit off to the side to make sure I had the right spices, everything, if I needed to add something else. And it's perfectly blended. It tastes really, really good. This is a very, very good sauce that I made. Now what I've done is I've taken some of the noodles out of the pan, and I put it onto our sauce mixture right here at the bottom. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some cheese on this. I'm going to use our grated Parmesan cheese and also our mozzarella cheese. Now I've got some grated Parmesan cheese right there, and I'm just going to put a little bit on in. See how I'm going to do this? I'm just going to put a little bit on top of the noodles. This makes it so flavorful. Now I'm adding the rest of the noodles and the meat sauce on top. Look how good that looks. Now I have our pasta sauce and our meat sauce right here. I'm just going to use some more grated Parmesan cheese on top. And this is so, so, so good. Now I'm going to take the rest of my sauce and I'm going to layer it up. See that? Now I'm just going to spread it out and get the rest of it out. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my mozzarella cheese, and I'm using whole milk mozzarella by Sargento. You can use any cheese that you prefer. And I'm just going to layer the top, and I want you guys to see this. This is so, so good. This is one of my favorite Italian dishes, and also my mom's. My mom loves this dish very, very much. Now the cheese that I used in the middle and on the bottom was Parmesan cheese by Kroger, and I used a 3/4 cup of that. So definitely I used it on the bottom layer, and then I also used it in the middle. And now on the top I'm just using mozzarella. Now I'm going to put this, I'm going to put a cover on this so that way our noodles do not dry out. And I'm going to put this in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And how long are we going to cook this, Mom?
30 minutes.
30 minutes we're going to cook this.
Cooked.
Yeah, because it's already cooked. All we're doing is just warming it up. So 30 minutes in your oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Now look how good that looks. I had cooked this at 350 degrees Fahrenheit at 30 minutes. And I covered it because I didn't want it to dry out. And I wanted to show you, sorry for the movement of my camera, but I wanted to show you how good the pasta looks. Look how good that looks. And juicy and flavorful. That looks really, really good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let this sit for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then I'm going to cut into it, and then I'll plate it on up. Now look how good that looks. This looks absolutely wonderful. Now I tried a little piece of it, and it tastes really good with the spices, the sauce, the cheese. This looks absolutely and tastes wonderful. Now I cooked this at our oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 30 minutes, and this is what it looks like, and I covered it too, so that way it doesn't dry it out. And look how good that looks. Now, if you want to, you can add pepper on this at this point, or more parsley if you want to put some stuff on top. But this is absolutely perfect the way it is. Now, look how good this looks, you guys. This is our pasta penne with meat sauce, and I have a garlic stick with this, and this is absolutely wonderful. All right, everyone. Look how good our pasta looks today. It is very, very good. It's our penne pasta with meat sauce. And I cooked this at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and I cooked it for 30 minutes. I covered the top of it because I didn't want it to dry out. But this is very, very good. I tried a little bit of this, and the flavors, the spices, everything, it's all well blended, and it tastes absolutely wonderful. Now, I want to thank everybody for watching our video today. I want to thank all the subscribers. Thank you so, so much. If you're watching this video for the first time, please click the subscribe button. I would love to have you as part of my YouTube family. Thank you again for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.